What's up, guys? It's your boy, Barca Boy 103. Today we're going to be reacting to the Barcelona news over the past 48 hours, where we do have a lot of topics to discuss. Firstly, Barcelona are in talks to sign Kylian Mbappe this summer. We'll talk about that, and also how the club are in the market for a right back, but there's no total agreement internally at the club with the coaching staff and the board on who to sign. The options right now are Joao Cancelo and Fresneda, but Man City do not want Cancelo by the end of this window, and that can play in Barcelona's favor. But of course, we do have an update on many sales. Firstly, Barcelona and Juventus have reached an agreement for the transfer of Franck Kessie, pending an agreement on personal terms, and the fee is absolutely terrible. We also have an update on the sale of Nico Gonzalez, Chadi Riad, Gustavo Maia, also on some transfer news in regards to Clement, Lenglet, Garcia, and how Julian Araujo is on the verge of joining Las Palmas on loan. Arnau Tenas, he could be going to PSG. We have an update on Deco being appointed as the sporting director. Balde is going to have a presentation for his renewal. And finally, Barcelona will not have any issues in regards to registration for the upcoming La Liga season with the current squad that we do have. We have the update in that regards. But before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try to get to 200 likes in this video. Be very much appreciated. Also, if you're new, make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Let's start off with the transfer news over the past 48 hours. Now, a new player that has been linked with Barcelona has been Kylian Mbappe. We're going to discuss this transfer a little bit, very briefly. Spoiler alert, it's not going to happen, but the sources coming in are very strong, top tier. So we're going to go through it, then I'll give you guys my opinion and the analysis. So the news broke from L'Equipe, of course, the #1 source in France. They came out saying that Barcelona and Paris Saint Germain had a meeting 2 days ago to start talks for the transfer of Kylian Mbappe, and that Barcelona are ready to offer players and money to PSG for Kylian Mbappe. Ivorian then came out saying that PSG want Mbappe to join Barcelona instead of Real Madrid. Official talks have begun between Barcelona and PSG. They're very interested in signing Gavi or Dembele as part of a swap deal. Then Pletical in Germany confirms as well, saying that Barcelona are indeed interested in signing Kylian Mbappe. Ben Jacobs then came out saying that FC Barcelona's interest in Kylian Mbappe is real. They sent an inquiry to PSG about signing him. However, Mbappe joining Barcelona is very unlikely. Duncan Castles in the UK, one of the more underrated sources who's very reliable, came out saying that PSG have indeed received an inquiry from Barcelona for Kylian Mbappe. So these are, concrete sources coming in. I'm there sitting there thinking, how in the bloody hell are we signing Mbappe? We spent 3.4 million on Oriol Romeu that's being paid in installments. 3.4 million being paid in installments, and you're telling me we can afford Mbappe set on $500,000 a week and 100 million transfer fee for PSG. The reality then shortly after hit. Gerard Miro came out saying that Mbappe to Barcelona would be viable if he arrives on a free agent. Several departures happen. Bartomeu gives up his left ankle, then he'll happen. So there's nothing between Barcelona and Mbappe as of now. We can't even register our own players right now. How are we going to sign Mbappe? And then we got more concrete sources from Barcelona. Firstly, Sport came out saying that Barcelona explained they have nothing to do with Kylian Mbappe. They were surprised when they saw the news after waking up that morning. Barcelona interprets that PSG have used their name to try and put pressure on Real Madrid, and Roger from Mundo Deportivo confirms as well, saying that Barcelona denies everything that was published in L'Equipe earlier the other day. Barcelona cannot compete due to FFP, and despite obvious admitting Mbappe's quality, they want to build a complete squad on and off the field and not focus on only individuals. Sheesh, a little bit of a dig there from Barcelona. Look, if we can afford Mbappe, I'd rather get Bernardo Silva in a right back. I mean, that is the reality of the situation. Now, we don't need Mbappe. I mean, everyone would take him, but the issue is that Mbappe, I almost said Dembele. The issue is that Mbappe, he's very heavily based on himself. Like an example off the top of my head, Cristiano Ronaldo. He's a player that you build a team around, and that everything goes through him in the team. Whereas Barcelona right now, we're a team, we're a family. Like I talked about in the last video, team chemistry right now is through the roof. Mbappe would come in and interrupt that completely because he wants to be a star and he wants to be the main man. Fair enough to him. There's clubs out there for him, and we used to be that kind of club as well, Barcelona. But right now, we are far from it. And honestly, if we did end up signing Mbappe, I'd be more disappointed than happy, because that tells me the club has money and are not spending it on the areas that we do need. Again, offer me Bernardo Silva and Cancelo or Mbappe, I'm taking Bernardo Silva and Cancelo, and I think the entire Barcelona fan base would do that as well. So this is, nothing story. We're just our names are just thrown into the hat for PSG to try and get some money now for Real Madrid. Apparently, Mbappe and Real Madrid have an agreement for 2024, and Mbappe wants to go there as a free agent. But apparently, Mbappe promised PSG he won't leave for free, so now he might go to Saudi Arabia for a year or whatever the case may be. Wait and see. Not our problem, because he's not coming to us. Now, a player who Barcelona and the coaching staff and even the fans want to sign this summer, I think we can all agree on it, is Joao Cancelo to come in and reinforce the right back position. Now, The Athletic, one of the more reliable sources in the UK, have come out saying that Manchester City do not want Joao Cancelo to stay at the club. He is not in their plans. Despite Joao Cancelo participating in preseason and all this stuff, Pep and Joao Cancelo still have a bit of beef, and they want to get rid of him. I think, honestly, hear me out here. This is a little bit of a Barca boy analysis. I think Mateo Lemon and Deco, what they're going to do is just going to ride this out. They're going to wait until the last few days of the window, offer a loan deal for Joao Cancelo, and see if Man City bite. Because the reality is, a lot of teams in the world do want Cancelo, but Man City want a fee, which no one wants to pay. And Joao Cancelo is having very, very high salary demands, which he still is to this day. I think, last few days of the window, like, you know what, you can go to Barcelona right now, just lower your demands a bit. I think he would do it. So I think Barcelona are indeed playing the long game. Now, Gabriel Sanz and Mundo Deportivo came out saying that within the sports area, there's no consensus over signing of a right back. There are those who prefer opting for a young player like Fresneda, while others think an experienced player like Joao Cancelo would suit better. So apparently, the board and the coaching staff are not really in total consensus over the signing of a right back. Who cares what the board thinks? You're there to run the club, not pick who we sign. Back them. I am sick to death. Oh, the board don't want this. Oh, the board want. You fuck the board, man. Back the manager. You're there to handle the behind the scenes of the club, economics, finances. Rent out the Wi-Fi cap now, the Memphis Depay's concert. Espai Barca, registering players. That's your plan. Leave the picking the players to the manager. I am sick to death. This has been like this for so many years. Oh, the board want Andre Gomes, but the manager wants Marco Verratti. Like, oh my God, cry me a river. Back the manager. Whatever Xavi wants, get him. Xavi wants Cancelo, you get him, and then all the criticism lies on the manager. And that's how football should be. If Xavi wants to bet young, you give him both options on the table. We can get Fresneda for 20 million. We can get Cancelo on a loan. We prefer Fresneda. You can put your input, give your opinion how it helped the club financially stuff, but don't block the transfer because you don't agree with it. That for me makes no sense whatsoever. But we'll wait and see with the right back. I think the club are still in the market for one. I think we will sign one in the end. But I think right now the club trying to get some sales through and again playing the long game a bit with the right back. We heard some rumors about Bournemouth having an agreement with Valladolid for Fresneda for around 17 million euros. That's not materialized. I think Fabrizio Romano came out denying that as well. We're hearing that AC Milan is still interested in Fresneda, but Joao Cancelo, there's no interest. It's pretty much us and Arsenal who are sniffing around a bit as well. So I'll wait and see. I still think the club will sign a right back this summer. Again, the question is, who will it be? Let's now discuss the players who have been rumored to leave Barcelona over the past 48 hours. First up is Franck Kessie. Now, you thought that rant was about the board was big. Wait till you see this. This is had my blood boiling for hours now. Now, Sport came out last night saying that Barcelona are asking for around 15 million euros fixed for Franck Kessie. Juventus are offering 10 million fixed, 5 million add-ons. Barcelona believe it could be closed for around 12 to 14 with 6 million euros as variables, along with the buy obligation or a new offer being made by Juventus is not ruled out. So the club now have lowered their asking price for Franck Kessie from 30 million to 15. They've goddamn nearly halved it. And of course, Juventus have bounced at that opportunity. Sport also came out saying there is almost an agreement reached between Barcelona and Juventus for Franck Kessie. Barcelona wanted a transfer, but Juventus couldn't afford it. Hence, it will be a loan with a buy option for 12 million to 14 million euros with variables included. The only thing missing now is Kessie's approval. It gets worse. There's even reports coming in from Gazzetta dello Sport in Italy saying that Juventus have reached a total agreement with Barcelona for Franck Kessie. It'll be a loan with a mandatory purchase option of around 10 to 15 million euros. Now they begin talks on personal terms with the player. And I'm thinking here, holy shite. We're really so desperate to sell to the point we're selling a player that we don't need to sell for half his market value. I've seen a lot of people on Twitter say, oh, doesn't really matter what we sell Franck Kessie for because we've gone for free, so we're going to make profit no matter what. That's true. I stand by that. But when the player has a valuation and you're giving him away on the cheap when we still could use him in the squad, it makes no sense. The whole entire point of selling Kessie in the first place was to get a market opportunity. We heard back in June, Xavi talked to Kessie. He's open to leaving if everything is agreed with the club and the player. Everyone gives the green light, but he will not be forced out, and it has to be a market opportunity. And now we're just selling him on the cheap. But there is some hope. Mundo Deportivo, Fermin Martinez came out saying that although in Italy they take Franck Kessie's incorporation for Juventus for granted, Barcelona advances discreetly. In England, the player would like to leave for a Big Six team in England. There's also interest from Aston Villa and Wolverhampton Wanderers. Barcelona hope to close an important sale this coming week, and everything indicates that the chosen one will be Franck Kessie. So again, when the club want to sell someone this week, looks like Franck Kessie is going to be out the door. But apparently, there's a low-key offer from England that no one knows about, which hopefully the club will accept, and hopefully the fee will be higher from that of Juventus. Now, on the Juventus offer, Mattia Marito's come out saying there's nothing advanced yet for Franck Kessie and Juventus operation, so he's debunking that. But then again, the Italy source from Gazzetta dello Sport wasn't that great, but the sport reporter is very reliable, and he's come out saying there is a principal agreement. Again, no green light from Franck Kessie right now. It's just Barcelona and Juventus that have reached an agreement. We're hearing the fees around 15 million euros. It could be a loan to with the option to buy, a mandatory buy. We're not quite too sure. I mean, if you're selling him on the cheap, at least get the money. Get the money now. How are we doing a loan with a mandatory buy option? We're not gonna get the money until next summer. It's all over the place. And I think Franck Kessie is only sat around 100,000 euros per week, so it's not like he's on like humongous, ginormous wages. So it doesn't make sense to sell him on the cheap and then, you know, cry about not getting a transfer fee when you're giving out your players for dirt prices. Like we're seeing West Ham bid 50 million euros for Conor Gallagher. I'm seeing Malcolm go to El Hilal for 60 million, and you're telling me you can't get 30 million for Franck Kessie? Either we're shy at selling, or everyone knows that we're desperate for money, so they're absolutely lowballing us, or we're just incompetent, because it's clear as day that you can sell players. Like I got Conor Gallagher, you know, English tax, whatever. But I tweeted at West Ham, like, yo, you can get Ferran Torres, Clement, Lenglet, and Des for that money. You want to just go for one B-Tech average midfielder and Conor Gallagher? Come on. People just spend their money very poorly, and everyone knows that Barcelona is desperate for cash. So wait and see with Franck Kessie. Again, it looks like his exit will be very, very advanced over the next few days. We'll be interested to see if he plays against Arsenal later on today. If he doesn't, I think his transfer is very close. But if he does, then I think there's probably just talks right now, nothing really concrete, because of course you don't want the player getting injured before the transfer. So wait and see what happens, but it looks like Franck Kessie is very, very close to the exit door. Now at the moment, the player who is the closest to leaving Barcelona is of course Nico Gonzalez, where Barcelona and Porto do have an agreement for the player's transfer on a permanent deal. Alfredo Martinez came out saying that according to the Portuguese media, Porto will pay around 10 million euros for the transfer of Nico Gonzalez, and Barcelona will reserve a buyback option. We finally got that double-digit rumor. Hopefully this is true. I think 10 million for Nico is an alright deal. I think he's valued at least 20. We're about to sell him for like 7. At least we're getting 10 now. And again, buy option I think will be around doubles, around 18 to 20 million euros, what I've been reading. Now it's just down to personal terms. We are seeing images of Nico Gonzalez in Portugal to discuss personal terms with Porto, and once the personal terms are agreed, the deal will be finalized. Again, full agreement between Barcelona and Porto for the transfer, just now waiting for personal terms to be agreed with the player Nico. Now, there are other players in the squad that are attracting interest around Europe, and it's sport reporting that Olympique de Marseille have asked Barcelona about the situation of both Clement Lenglet and Eric Garcia. They're very interested in signing at least one of them this summer. Now, Marseille have been on a mad one. They've had a very good window. They just signed Ismail Sarr from Watford. They've bought an Aubameyang, Renan Lodi, another name I can't think of off the top of my head. So they're doing pretty well this transfer window. So hopefully they have some money. You know, French center back who's they can get Lenglet. Don't really see how Garcia moves there. I think the last Spanish center back they had there was Alvaro. I hate that guy so much, but yeah. You know what? 15 million for both. They're both yours. I mean, honestly, we're having the €5 million offer from Tottenham. We're also hearing that Barcelona are really playing the long game with Tottenham in regards to Lenglet. Keep in mind, Tottenham have 3 center backs as their priorities before Lenglet. I think it's a center back from Wolfsburg and then Tapsoba from Bayer Leverkusen. They still haven't signed either of them. They've dragged those deals on forever. So they got Lenglet on lock. All they gotta do really is just pay Barcelona what they want. That deal will be finalized, but they don't. So we'll wait and see. Again, I pray to God Lenglet leaves. Eric Garcia as a squad player, I'm okay to keep. I mean, apparently according to reports, Xavi wants to play in a 3-4-3 this upcoming season, so we need 3 center backs. I think Eric Garcia can stay and have be a good asset. With Lenglet, though, I think he has absolutely no chance. I think sooner rather than later, Lenglet will leave, just in the manner of how. I think if we're, beginning mid-August, he still hasn't gone yet, we could see a contract termination on the table, or the club could just take the €5 million offer from Tottenham. But the club are very adamant they can get some money, or at least decent money for Lenglet. That's why they're holding out quite a bit. So we'll wait and see what happens. But again, some French players at Barcelona attracting interest, but now it's all down to the club making those sales. But a center back who is set to leave Barcelona this summer is the Barca Athletic center back from Morocco, and that is of course Chadi Riad, the player who won the under-23 AFCONs or under-21 AFCONs, I believe, with Abdi. Now, Getafe are reporting that Sampdoria and Watford were also interested in Chadi Riad, but the player only wanted to go to Betis, and Barcelona will have a repurchase option of around 7 to 8 million euros. Roger from Mundo Deportivo confirmed the news, saying that Chadi Riad will join Real Betis on a loan with a mandatory purchase option of around 3 million euros, and Barcelona will keep 50% of a future sale and also have a buyback option for around 7 million euros. So again, details are still yet to be finalized. We're hearing permanent deal, 2.5 million loan, 2.5 million euro fee, 50% sell-on clause, buyback option. Some people are saying loan, mandatory buy option for 3 million euros, 50% future sell-on clause, and a buyback option. So what's clear is that there's a future sell-on clause and a buyback option, but the loan and the fee is still lingering in the air. We'll wait and see what happens with that. But again, Chadi Riad is in Sevilla. He's already undergone his medical at Real Betis. Just some few finishes now to finalize the operation, and then he will move most likely in a permanent operation by either a permanent deal in the first place or a loan with a mandatory buy option. Now, after Chadi Riad and Nico Gonzalez, the next player who's also on the verge of leaving Barcelona is Julian Araujo, who is not even going to join the Barcelona preseason. He's going to go straight on loan to Las Palmas. Now, Tony Juan Martí is reporting that Julian Araujo will finally not join Barcelona's camp in the USA. The club and the player agreed that he'd extend his vacation after his participation in the Gold Cup, and Araujo will leave on loan and will have to choose between the offers that he has on the table. We're hearing that Las Palmas is an option, Osasuna, Porto as well. So with Julian Araujo playing in that tournament in the Gold Cup in CONCACAF, he ended up, of course, Mexico won the whole thing, so they got to the final, everything. Even though he was called up for the squad list for the U.S. tour, he was getting a bit of an extended vacation, and during that vacation, it was decided he would go on loan immediately. We'll wait and see if Xavi just confirmed that either today at some point before the match or after the match, but looks like he will not be joining the U.S. camp. Also, Fran Martinez from Mundo Deportivo came out confirmed this as well, saying the agreement between Barcelona and Las Palmas for Julian Araujo's loan was sealed a long time back. Right now, it is not known when Julian Araujo will arrive in Las Palmas, but he had a video conference in recent days with their sporting director Luis Heglera and also their coach Garcia, former Barcelona coach, to talk about his role in the team and what is expected of him. So it looks like Julian Araujo is set to join Las Palmas on that loan deal. Hopefully, he will have the same clause in his contract like Pablo Torre did, where he cannot play against Barcelona unless Las Palmas pay a fee. I think that's a fantastic operation that Barcelona have implemented in their loan deals, but if the club have decided this way, then they have. I would have loved to have seen Julian Araujo get a chance in preseason first. Now, this does mean that Serginho just has the chance of a lifetime here. If he can impress Barcelona in preseason, he'll be our right back or backup, no problem whatsoever, without any competition. And if he fails, it's his own fault. So we'll wait and see but I think Des will have to reduce his salary for sure. So we'll wait and see what happens with Julian Araujo. Maybe he could join last second to the U.S. tour. He has been called up, so it's down to him really. But looks like he is edging closer and closer to a loan exit. Now, over the past 24 hours, Barcelona have confirmed an official exit from the club that will benefit us heavily in financial fair play, and that is the exit of Gustavo Maia. He was going to be earning a salary of around 2 million euros on his return from his loan deal, but Barcelona have terminated his contract. We all knew that he joined Villanova FC in a second division team in the Brazilian league. They confirmed the transfer, but Barcelona never did, and now we know the details. The club announced officially that Barca Athletic announced the contract termination of Gustavo Maia, and he will join Villanova FC on a free transfer, which of course was announced a few days ago. So it was a contract termination, no fee for Barcelona, nothing like that. I assume he has forgive the majority of his salary. I think he would, probably take a little bit of that $2 million that he was owed, but nonetheless, a little bit of it is better than all of it. Now, a player who Barcelona are using to maneuver the market this summer and flip for a profit is Mika Marmol. I've been talking about him on the channel for quite a few weeks now. Again, he's currently at Andorra FC in the second division. He was one of the best center backs there, and some of the lower teams in La Liga are very, very interested in him, and one of those teams was Las Palmas. Now, Barcelona still owe Las Palmas some money for the Pedri operation. A lot of the variables for his transfer have been activated, and instead of Barcelona paying those transfer variables, which were rumored about 5 million euros, the club are going to give Mika Marmol to Las Palmas for free. Gabriel Sanz from Deportivo came out saying that Barcelona are close to an agreement with Las Palmas for Mika Marmol. Barcelona will trigger their 1 million euro buyback option on Andorra for Marmol, and Marmol will immediately be sold for a higher price to Las Palmas, and Barcelona would no longer pay the remaining amount for Pedri's transfer. Now, how this works is that, let's say Barcelona want 5 million euros for Mika Marmol and we owe 5 million for Pedri. That will cancel out. So they'll pay us 5 million, then we just give them back the money back for the Pedri variables essentially. Or if we want more money for Mika Marmol, let's say 7 or 8, and then we owe Las Palmas 5, then of course we get a net profit of 3. And also, this is why Barcelona have agreed the loan for Julian Araujo, because they've been talking with Las Palmas a lot for the Mika Marmol operation, because of course that was very heavily involved with him and Pedri. So it looks like the Barcelona will get this deal over the line, and again, this does mean that we do save a lot of money, because of course the players coming in, and of course we are saving in the variables for Pedri. So either we're breaking even or making a profit. Either way, it is happy days for Barcelona. Let's now discuss some contract renewal updates around the first team at Barcelona. Just one update, and it is on the contract renewal of Arnau Tenas, which will most likely not happen because a new European team have entered the race for him. He's had a lot of offers from La Liga sides, mid-table, lower table, but now a big club in Europe have come in knocking for him, and it looks like he's going to set to join them. And it is Paris Saint Germain again. Mateo Moreto has come out saying that PSG are after Arnau Tenas, who's out of contract after Barcelona decided to execute the 2-year renewal option on him. Tenas is close to joining the Parisian side. Luis Enrique is a big fan of him. To be honest, I'm not that mad. Look, Arnau Tenas was either going to be the third choice goalkeeper for Barcelona or go out on loan. If he can be the second choice goalkeeper for PSG, that's fine. Apparently PSG want to sell Keylor Navas, as Sergio Rico had that head injury where he was in a coma for about 15, 18 days, something like that. So I don't think he can play football for a very, very long time. So looking for a backup goalkeeper to compete and maybe provide coverage for Gianluigi Donnarumma, and they're looking at Arnau Tenas. Of course, Luis Enrique, former Barcelona manager, knows Arnau Tenas a lot, and that's where he gets that information from. For the player, it's a good deal. Just sucks to see a Koulé going to the right side of France. And also Alberto Ro came out saying that Xavi in the end prefers Iñaki Peña to Arnau Tenas, and PSG are pushing hard to sign Arnau Tenas as a free agent. So in the end, Xavi had the choice. He stuck with Iñaki Peña. I think that's the right decision, honestly. Iñaki Peña already has European experience, and look, I've seen Arnau Tenas play. I watched him live in the Johan Cruyff Stadium. I've seen him on TV as well. I think he's a great goalkeeper, but he still has a lot of room to grow, and that's the reality of the situation. Will he grow in PSG? Probably, but with the money that was offered for him on the option that Barcelona had, it just wasn't suitable enough for the club to keep him. I think the only reason why he's so connected to Barcelona and a lot of fan base likes Arnau Tenas is because he's a true Koulé. He's the closest I've seen to PK, to loving the club so much on the pitch. We've seen it. I've seen it with my own eyes when they got to the promotion playoff final. He was there celebrating. He's just a true Koulé. That's why it kind of sucks to see a true Koulé who is actually good leave the club and go, especially to Paris Saint Germain. So wait and see. It looks like Barcelona set to miss out on that contract renewal. Again, the club wants to renew him, then send him immediately out on loan. That way they can retain part of his future. But looks like he'll join PSG as a free agent, which again is a good move for him. Backup goalkeeper. He's not going to be third or fourth choice. He's going to be sitting on the bench and playing the cup competitions and playing alongside one of the pivotal figures in Barcelona's history in Luis Enrique. Now, the final contract renewal update is on the contract renewal of Alejandro Balde. Of course, we all know it's already been signed, but we have some update on his presentation. Now, Alberto Roque broke the news. He came out saying that Barcelona want to hold a celebratory ceremony for Alejandro Balde's renewal for La Masia PR purposes. There won't be a ceremony to celebrate Lamine Yamal's renewal, as they rather keep a lower profile for him due to his age. Fabrizio Romano confirmed this, saying that Barcelona are planning to announce and unveil Alejandro Balde's new deal once they return from preseason. In America, he's already signed a deal, of course, until 2028. So, of course, we've seen Ronald Araujo have a renewal presentation. We've seen Gavi have a renewal presentation. Pedri have a renewal presentation. Ansu Fati have a renewal presentation. And I think Balde's next in line makes perfect sense in my opinion. And I totally agree with the club. Lamine Yamal, way too young. I think once he renews his contract that he's currently signed, later down the line, 2 or 3 years, then you can have his celebration. So I think Alejandro Balde, fully deserved for him, one of the best left backs in the world, and you will have an official presentation for his renewal once the team returns from America. Let's now discuss some of the news surrounding Barcelona over the past 48 hours. Firstly, we do have some news on some youngsters shining in preseason at the moment, and one of them is Fermin Lopez. Juan Martínez come out saying that Lopez is causing very good sensations in his first days of preseason in the dressing room, and also the coaches, they are very surprised with his good level. Both Alejandro Balde and Pedri have already praised him publicly. Now, Lopez is kind of an attacking midfielder, left-hand side attacker, who of course could be a solution for Barcelona if we don't end up signing a number 10, whether it's Bernardo Silva, Lo Celso, whatever the case may be in the market. Sport have also come out saying that Xavi wants to keep watching Fermin Lopez to see if he can get minutes and chance in the first team in the new season that starts in less than 3 weeks. His loan to Linares was very beneficial, and he returned to Barcelona with the aim of exploding. Until now, he is on the right track. He has been a pleasant surprise in preseason and can get minutes against Arsenal later tonight. So keep your eyes on this player during preseason. Fermin Lopez, he's impressing heavily in the training session. He's got the Pedri and Gavi moving mad. They're all saying, wow, he's so great. Even Alejandro Balde is praising him. So keep your eyes on him. He could be the next gem coming out of La Masia. Now, of course, the start of the La Liga campaign is coming up very, very fast, and we've had some news in regards to our first match away to Getafe. A few weeks ago, I informed you guys the game was going to be played behind closed door because Getafe broke some rules and they were going to be punished with that. But then, of course, Getafe appealed that punishment, and it has been overturned. Garcia came out saying the Supreme Court has annulled the decision. The match will not be played behind closed doors now, and fans will be present at the Coliseum Alfonso Perez. So now there will be fans in the first match of the season for Barcelona when they play away against Getafe. They will be playing in the La Señora kit, that game that is already been confirmed, but we all thought it would be played behind closed door. That, of course, would have given Barcelona the big advantage, but now it will be played with fans in the stadium. Now it just makes the game 50,000 times more difficult. Now, the final topic that I want to discuss before I end off this video is give you guys some updates on Barcelona's registration plan, where Candacer and also Nico Gonzalez from COPE have come out saying that Barcelona hopes to close an important economic operation at the end of this week, which will generate extra income and is approved by La Liga. Without the need for a big sale, it will give FFP to register the new signings, the old renewals, and also the renewals of Alejandro Balde and Lamine Yamal. So the club are not worried about registration whatsoever. Rafael Uste, the Barcelona vice president, spoke yesterday and said there are no worries in regards to registration. Of course, what he means by registration is the 4 new players. I don't know about Victor Roque, but definitely El Caguan, Inigo Martinez, Oy Romeu, the renewal of Araujo, Gavi, Roberto, Alonso, and Naki Pena, and now Balde and Lamine Yamal. So you got 10 players that need to be registered, and the club are not worried about that. Now, with this extra economic operation, that'll be enough for Barcelona to get everything done now, but of course to make new signings, that's when the sales are needed right back. Number 10, whatever the case may be. Now, of course, someone who's been working very hard in regards to registration alongside Mateo Alemán is, of course, Deco. Now, Deco is yet to be announced as the official sporting director of Barcelona, even though everyone and their mom knows he's in that position. Borja Toledo from Mundo Deportivo has come out saying that Deco will be officially announced as the sporting director of Barcelona after the team returns from America. He is now in Porto to finish some fringes to close his agency. He's also organizing the move to his house in Barcelona with his family, thus he did not go to America. So pretty much Deco came in, got Victor Roque over the line, and now he's moving to Barcelona officially. So what a don. We gotta respect Deco. He helped to sign our biggest player this summer in Victor Roque. Hopefully he can get him to register as well. But yes, we all know he's a sporting director. We all thought he would be announced at the beginning of this month in July, but now we're going into next month, August. But at some point, the club will announce the new structure of the sporting management. We'll probably see Mateo Elman as the football director. You'll have Deco sporting director, Rafael Luce, of course, as the vice president, Joan Laporta as the president. And so, you know, people coming in for the replacement of Jordi Cruyff, and of course Mateo Elman end up saying, so they might just say Deco came in to replace Jordi Cruyff and that's it. So wait and see with that. But again, on the bigger issue, the club are expecting absolutely no problems with registration this season. So that was my reaction to the Barcelona news over the past 48 hours. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and of course leave me your thoughts down below in the comments on everything we discussed. The main thing firstly, of course, is your thoughts on the signing of a right back. Do you think it will happen or not this summer? Second, your thoughts on the fee that Barcelona apparently have agreed to sell Franck Kessie to Juventus. Your thoughts on the other departures like Nico Gonzalez, Clement, Lenglet, Garcia, Chadi Riad, and also of course Julian Araujo as well, and your thoughts on Barcelona's current registration issue. And of course, make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time on the channel. Take care, and Forza Barca.